Hi everyone, this is Elena of the Witches Box, and I'm here today with another episode of Witch Booktube. And today, instead of doing a book, I'm going to have a little bit of a Booktube vlog moment. Before I get into it, obviously I'm in a different place. If you watched the IG live last Tuesday, you know I'm in a hotel. I think I also did our Witch Meditate live last Friday while in this hotel. If you don't know what the Witch Meditate Live is, just know that here on this very channel that you're watching this on, I do a live guided meditation ritual each Friday. So that this Friday there will be another one. Check it out. I'm sure that there's probably already a placeholder for that. In any case, if you were watching that, if you watched our IG Live, you know that I've been in a hotel. Hopefully this is the last day that I'm in here. While with my brother, who's fine, but in a hospital, he's fine, thank you. In any case, here I am. It's a different setting, but I didn't want to not do this thing. So here I am. I'm glad that you're joining me. And it's a little different today. Not necessarily because of the stay in the hotel, because my reading has actually increased while here, which is kind of nice. But because I had a question come up by one of my watchers, one of you. I also want to say that this is something that I've addressed in some way in one of the other Witch Booktube vlogs that I did in the last year. And it's this. 2.5 years ago, when I first started this, there were books that I read that I had some pretty high critique about. And the comment was, because someone watched one of the older videos, I really wish that you would do more of these because it's really great to know which books, not just which books to buy, but which books to stay away from or not to buy or not to invest my money in, which is a completely valid point. I addressed this from a different angle and not even this specifically. I made a comment that I have been on a really good reading streak, that all of the books that I have been reading have been pretty amazing in my estimation, and I've been really loving that. And that at the time I said something to the effect of, I'm just getting really good at really being able to determine if the books can be really good or not. So it's made the choosing process really easy for me and really satisfying, because when I get a book, I'm pretty sure that it's going to be good. And then I have an amazing experience and I love it. I relish that. So that experience is similar but sort of separate to the issue that was brought up. It wasn't an issue, it was a comment, it was a suggestion, it was like a desire of, I wish you would do more books as well that you didn't like or that you had higher critiques for, so that people knew to stay away from those books and invest their money in other books. And it's a valid question, it's a valid desire, it's a valid point. And it made me think about what it is that I want to do most here with the Witches Booktube. It's not that I have actively chosen to not do, I don't want to say negative, but higher critique reviews here at all. It's not that I'm trying to avoid, ooh, that's a really crappy book, I don't want to read it because I don't want to talk about it. That's not the choice that I'm making at all. It's more about, and this is a completely personal thing, and this is where my process and questioning around how much of this is really service and how much of this is really selfish indulgence. I mean, this is the truth. I'm just going to come out and just put it out there. I love reading. I love learning. For me, the idea of spending my precious lifetime reading something that's crappy or that I don't like doesn't really make sense. The other thing is that it's true. I'm going to say that I'm probably about 90, maybe let's say, just to be fair, 80% mood reader. And that other 20% is about intentional planning in terms of what is it that I want to give to our Witch Book subscription group, which books would make sense for that, right? So there is some intentionality in choosing what to read so that I can keep giving the subscribers books that keep going a little deeper. So that would fall into that 20% where there's intentional reading there. And I think that that's actually it, very honestly, unless there is something that I really want to learn about and then there's intention in that. Like, I'm going to get this, 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 and this, because this covers a very specific body of knowledge that I really want to absorb. So in terms of how I make choices, that 20% that is much more intentional is about those two things. And then the rest is like, ooh, what strikes my fancy right now? What's calling to me the most? And after all of this time, I'm just really good at picking books that I know I'm really going to love. I have thought about it in terms of its service, because I definitely want to highlight for you books that are going to help deepen and facilitate your deepening spirituality as a witch. That is the mission of everything that happens here at the Witches Box. That is my mission personally. And I think that can happen with saying, this book is a yes, get this book. This book is a yes, get this book. In terms of what not to read, I don't know that I'm willing to invest my very limited and very, very precious time on books that I know are going to not be the most stellar to share with you. This is what I do have to say, however, because a lot of you are always like, oh my God, read this book. Oh my God, read this book. If I don't review a book, it doesn't mean that I thought it was crappy. It may very well mean that I just haven't read it. So don't read into what I'm not reviewing. Don't do that. Don't spend your time wasting it, because that's not what this is. There are, sadly, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of super popular books that I haven't gotten to yet. That is just a reality. And because I'm a mood reader, I don't tend to just read the very latest and greatest. I'm reading from like way, way back in the day. I did that with Drawing Down the Moon, which I think was from the late 70s, early 80s. So I go back and forth. It's all about the mood. I'm not staying on top of all the things that have just gotten released like right this minute and reviewing all of those. That's not how I roll. So don't read into it. If I haven't read it, if I haven't reviewed it, doesn't mean it's crappy. It just means that it's just not on the Booktube review channel. That's it. I know that a lot of you do wish that I would give reviews on books that are not the best so that you can steer away from them. All I can tell you is that if I tell you that a book is amazing, it's amazing according to me, and I recommend it highly. I get free books sent to me all the time, which I love. All of you publishing houses and all of you writers who send me your books for free to read, I love that. Thank you. I will receive them willingly. Sometimes if I don't have time to read them, I'll give them away as a free giveaway, which people love here on YouTube. Sometimes I'll read it and I'll just give a review over on Goodreads, and I don't do a review here. Just as a spoiler, Ivo Dominguez Jr. sent me 4 of his books. Ivo, if you're watching this, thank you so much. He sent me 4 of his books. It was a beautiful, gracious gift he sent me probably over a year ago. I mean, this is it. This is the truth. Over a year ago. I just never got to them. I just didn't get to them. I was doing a million other things. I felt it in the moment. I was really grateful. I had even intended to do a whole like online Instagram something about the gift and the thing. I didn't get to those books until like a million years later. 2 of those books are now going to be, and this is a spoiler alert, the 2 books that we choose to read for the month of August in our book subscription. So know that I'm busy and I'm working hard at not being hella busy. This is my own personal spiritual like caretaking practice. My intention is that even when I finally reach a place where rest is just part of my daily routine and downtime is part of my daily routine, I'm still probably not going to get to more books that are sent to me in a timely fashion. I'll probably get to them, but it's going to take a while. So a year and some months after he sent me those books, I've read some of them, and now 2 of them are being chosen for our book. So it doesn't mean that I'm going to choose your books. Just know that there's no schedule here. There are other people now doing Witch Booktube reviews, which I think is fantastic. Certainly a lot of books are being covered that I don't cover, so there's a variety there. You know how much I love a good book. And right now I am just in the middle of a Lucy H. Pierce deep dive, and that shit is intense. It is incredibly intense. I just did a review of one of her books last week. They're good books, and they just shake up my ground. I've absorbed a lot of amazing information. I've had a lot of emotional process around the things that I'm reading that she's written. I'm in a really good streak. I really want all of my book reading experiences to be like that, right? That's what I'm going for. I want more of that in my life. I want more of that in your lives for you. So those are the books that I'm going to really want to highlight and talk about. What is the answer? The answer is no, I don't really do a whole lot of book critiques in terms of like a negative book that I don't recommend you buying. But that's not necessarily by design. That's all it is that I'm just better at picking really juicy, good books. And here's to more, right? Let's just do more. There are some amazing books coming out right now. There are some amazing books from our past that we've forgotten that I want to bring back into like our forefront memory and awareness. Here's what I want to know before we go. First of all, if you haven't subscribed to this channel and give us a thumbs up. And down below in the comment section, what is it that you're reading right now that's super juicy, that's super inspiring, that's really teaching you a lot about yourself and about witchcraft and about spirituality? Share your book loves right now, because I'd love to see what's going on there. Right now, for me, it's Lucy H. Pierce. It's likely that next week, the book review that I share with you is her second book that I'm reading, not her second book ever. What are the books that you are into right now where you're just like, this is so transformative, this is so high gold value. I've been talking about high gold, I've been talking about gold, I've been talking about the highest value in various different places with you all for probably 2 months now, after our money box and then our sun box, and then I did Lakshmi on the IG live. Like, what is the highest value? I think that this is really important to talk about in many ways and in many areas of our lives. And this is what I'm asking about your reading right now. I hope that that gives some of you some direction in terms of what to expect here. I hope that you had a great week, that you're going to have a better week next week. I'd love to hear more about your reading down below, and I will see you next week with another Witch Book Tube. Take care. Bye.